Parts of this community, and of course the farming community in Lawrence County throughout Kentucky is really an important part of our whole economy. But I'm honored to be here with all of you again tonight. Rotary Club, I want to thank you for the great meal and the folks that prepared it. It always is just outstanding. John, I've said for a long time, the almost 24 years at the end of December that I would have served in the Kentucky General Assembly, and I want to thank you all for allowing me to be there and to serve you and be your voice, and your confidence and support you've placed in me. I want to tell you that I truly appreciate that. I'm humbled by it, but I'm here to tell you that I starved to death a long time ago being out on the road as much as I am, as it wasn't for the good people of Lawrence County. So I want to thank you all again for that. And I'm not going to cut in on John's time tonight. I always enjoy listening to John speak and bring good words about the agriculture community and the agriculture economy. But I will say this, that Kentucky is an agriculture state and we're a coal state. And we're doing everything we can in the Kentucky General Assembly to make each one of those signature industries complement each other. We're using fuel crops to blend with coal to cut down on CO2 emissions. We're using property now to grow fuel crops that will provide electricity and fuel for the future. So we're trying to do everything we can to combine those two industries, John, to really produce a strong economy in Kentucky and produce good jobs for our people. So again, I want to thank you all for having me tonight. It's a great honor for me to represent Lawrence County in the Kentucky General Assembly. This farm that we are here to honor tonight, being the oldest farm in Lawrence County, is a farm that I know many people in this community are proud of, and I'm just honored to be here with you tonight to help celebrate this really special evening that I know all of you look forward to every year. Julia, thank you for the job that you do. You do an outstanding job, you and the entire extension community at, here in Lawrence County. University of Kentucky and their representation here is a big benefit to all of our counties. So again, thank you all for having me. If you need me for anything, I hope you feel free to pick up the phone and give me a call or track me down. I'll tell you, this Facebook and email, website, and all this stuff is about to drive me crazy. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm glad I have a 6-year-old to show me how to use it, to be honest with you. But again, thank you all for having me. Thank you for the meal, and thank you all for allowing me to represent you in Frankfort. It's a great honor. Thanks again.
Recognize the farm family here, but I tell you what, I'd like to personally recognize the farm families here tonight, because without not only you involved in it, but the existence of that farm for such a long time, I'm always amazed. When in different states, when I used to be a county agent in Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan, we always had Century Farms. I mean, of course, up there, Century Farms after Century Farm after Century Farm, and I was always amazed. I got to know them real well. There's a real tight bond in those families, particularly farm families, between moms and dads and generations and generations. I understand this generation is what, three generations in this particular farm, so four generations. So I want to congratulate them, very much. It's interesting. I don't know where. I think it's the lady who's sitting right here. You're representing a Levice paper.
Yeah, Levice Laser.
The Levice
Laser.
Later, okay. And you know what? It was about a couple years ago. Every time I hear the word Levice, it brings back kids. I love to read to kids. And I was asked to go to the mall, the Huntington Mall, and read. And I love history. So you know what I read? I read the Sandy Creek Expedition. And the Sandy Creek Expedition is about over in Augusta County, Virginia, West Virginia area. There was back in the 1760s, there was a fort over there. And that fort was run over by the Shawnee Indians that came over from Cincinnati. And unfortunately, the gentleman that led the fort was killed, and they took his wife. They captured his wife, and they were taking his wife back to the Shawnee country. along the Ohio River. And she, when they got to a certain part in this area, she was managed to go to a tree and write her name on the tree to let everybody know that she was still alive and she was here at this time. She wrote the word Lovaisi, 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 because that was his wife's name, the wife of the gentleman that was killed at the fort. So that's how the Lovaisi got to be the Lovaisi Fort of the Tug River. I always think that's amazing. You know, I love history like that. So if that helps you a little bit, I think that's kind of neat, because history is a part of us. We always need to remember our history. Farmers right now are, you all are in a tough time. It used to be that everything that you raised, you were able to sell. Everything that we bought, Rocky, at the store was all made in the United States. Right now, I challenge you. For one, go out and look. I love cider. I love apple juice. I challenge you to go out and find apple juice in the store made in the United States. Where's it come from? Argentina and China. Unbelievable, apple pie and Chevrolet. I mean, in the United States, apple cider. Couldn't find any. If you can find some, let me know. All made in Argentina, Chile, or China, or a combination thereof. It's just unbelievable. So I tell you what we need to do, you're doing the right thing. You're on the right track. You need to use best management practices. You need to have a product that's unique to sell out there. It used to be that, what's the gentleman's name that said you used to have a gimmick? That was Barnum, wasn't it? That you need to have a gimmick. You need to be the first guy on the block. You need to be the first one, with breeds of cattle, to produce a certain breeds of cattle that produce quality meat, quality fruits and vegetables like John is raising. If you can make a quality product, you can sell it. Right now, you can't just have an average product and expect to get a good return on your investment, because somebody else is going to move in from another country and sell it. So you really need to keep on the quality, the best management practices. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was extension agent for 36 years. It's your best money's ever spent. For tax dollars, your best money ever spent. And that is in relation to having a cooperative extension service.
Well, now it's time to recognize our Pioneer Family Farm this year. And as I said earlier, this year we're recognizing a farm that has been in continuous ag production for 117 years. And to me, that's absolutely amazing. And talking to Wanda this afternoon on the telephone, she was talking a little bit about the history of the farm and how it was a sustainable farm. They had a little bit of everything, what they needed to make do. And now, working with Stuart and Wanda a little bit, it's amazing some of the things that they're doing. They're right on the cutting edge of beef production in with their British whites and the animals they have. They're doing genetic testing to selectively breed for meat, the tenderness of meat, which, that's awesome that we're doing that kind of stuff right here in Lawrence County. So at this time, if the Rice farm or the Rice family will come on up and we'll recognize you all, and I'll invite them to say a few words and tell you a little bit about the history of their farm. So it is an absolute privilege for me to recognize the Ranson Rice Family Farm as this year's Pioneer Family Farm.
I want to congratulate the Louisa Rotary Club for showing the wisdom and good judgment to recognize our family farmers here in Lawrence County. They are the backbone of our community, the strength of our nation, Rocky, and I thank you all very much for having this program every year. I know of no pursuit in which more real and important services can be rendered to any country than by improving its agriculture, improving its breed of useful animals, and other branches of a husbandman's cares. George Washington. This next one, and Rocky, based upon the hard work that you do in Frankfort, in representing the interests of farmers. I know that you will agree with this, perhaps more than anyone in the room. This was from author Jonathan Swift, who wrote Gulliver's Travels. This was from that book. And he gave it for his opinion that whoever could make 2 ears of corn or 2 blades of grass to grow upon a spot of ground where only one grew before would deserve better of mankind and do more essential service to his country than the whole race of politicians put together.
We all gotta eat, man.
And the third one and the last one, and this is for all the farm families in the room. Of all gainful professions, I'm not sure about that word gainful, nothing is better, nothing is more pleasing, nothing more delightful, nothing better becomes a well-bred man than agriculture. I knew that Miss Rice lived on a farm, and everybody knew the history of that farm. Everybody knew that her house burned down in 1968. Mama, as we called her, and that's Emma Elizabeth Ranson Rice and Davy Rice. They raised turkeys, they raised sheep, they raised corn, they raised chicken, they raised grass, they raised hay, they raised beef cattle, they raised dairy cattle. They ran a dairy farm for a time. But the most significant thing that they raised was 6 wonderful children. It's quite a tribute to your grandparents to have raised such wonderful ancestors of yours, and I think it's in part because of where they were raised, on the family farm. Mama kept it going. Mama got the cows fed, Mama got the fence fixed, Mama got the hay in, and Mama called Nick Pico in the fall to come get the calf. Beth Ann didn't like it much, she took the calf away, but that was part of it. We are very thankful for our ancestors who paved the way for us. We are very busy in the present, I can tell you that, and we are very excited about the future of our farm here in Lawrence County. And we are humbled that the Rotary Club chose to recognize us this year. Thank you all very, very much.
Well, thank you very much, Stuart. That was enlightening, and maybe if you all talk to Wanda afterwards, she will tell you a little more colorful stories about the farm, like we discussed this afternoon. Well, thank you all very much for coming this evening. It's been a real pleasure, and let's give the Rotary a hand just one more time for the wonderful meal they provided. And with that, have a good evening, and like John said, please stop by the Extension office anytime. We'd love to visit.